and viewers. In this video, I am going to teach you second conditional sentence, that is improbable conditional sentence. In the previous videos, I have explained the introduction to conditional sentences and probable conditional sentences. So if you have not watched those two videos, please watch those two videos and come to this video, because this topic is very essential. It is given in school level and college level, even in competitive exams also. And not only that, if you are good at understanding this topic, you will be able to speak the sentences in your communication or conversation. So that is why I want all my students and viewers to pay attention to this topic right from the beginning to the end. Now look at improbable conditional sentence. See, this is also called type 2 conditional sentence. Okay, what is the structure of improbable conditional sentence? Already I have told you. Just remember three things in each conditional sentence. The first thing is, what is the tense, what is the form of the verb, what is the structure of the tense. In if clause, the tense is a simple past, subject plus V2 plus object. In main class, conditional past, it is a new term. In tenses, you may not have heard this term. In tenses, you may have just heard a simple past, past continuous, past perfect and past perfect continuous tense. But this is conditional past. What is the structure of conditional past? Subject plus would or could plus V1 plus object. If you find a structure with this, then you remember that it is called conditional past. And the third one, the last one is, for what actions is this improbable conditional sentence used? So this is used for present actions which are unlikely to happen, so that they are called unreal actions. So this is about the structure or the form of the verb or the tense. Whenever you want to use a sentence in improbable conditional sentence, okay, remember the structure of if clause and the structure of main clause. See, when we look at the tense in if clause, the tense is in simple past because it is subject plus V2 plus object. Remember, even though the tense is in simple past, it doesn't show the past action. It doesn't represent a past action. Instead of that, it gives a present meaning. It shows the present action which is unlikely to happen. Though the structure is in past tense, it is used to represent a present action which is more unlikely to happen. Look at the example to understand what is this unlikely to happen. Okay, improbable means which is not possible. In the very title we get the meaning. Improbable means which is almost not possible. Chances are very less for an action to happen, so that it is called unlikely to happen. Look at the example. When we look at the example, then we understand the meaning, the inner meaning or the deeper meaning and the context where the improbable conditional sentence is used. Look at this sentence. If I had money, comma, I would give you. This is subordinating clause and this is main clause. In subordinate clause, it is introduced with a conjunction, subordinating conjunction if. So in this subordinate clause, condition is there. This condition is called unreal condition. Unreal condition means which is almost not possible for the thing to happen. What is that one? If I had money. So here the structure, the tense is past because this is a had. The tense is past. I would give you. Okay, if I had money, I would give you. Here the students and the viewers and sometimes listeners might misunderstand the meaning of this sentence, because the structure is a simple past. It implies a past action. They might think, but it is not like that. When you look into the sentence, when you understand the deeper meaning of this sentence, you understand in what context or what situation it is used. See, if I had money, I would give you. So this is the condition. When this condition is fulfilled and the result of the condition is seen in the main class. See, I open the sentence. The inner meaning is, I don't have money now. I cannot give you any. See, I don't have money, I don't have any money now, so I cannot give you, I don't give you. So if I had money, money means if I had money at the present moment, at the present time when I speak, if I had money, then I would give you. So it doesn't talk about a past action, but it talks about a present action which is almost unlikely to happen. The viewers must remember the meaning of this sentence. Now turn to second example. Second example is, if I had a car, I could drop you at the railway station. This is also same in if class, a simple past. If I had a car, that means I do not have a car. If I had a car, I don't have a car, that is the meaning. If I had a car, I could drop you at the railway station. For example, your friend is about to get to railway station, and the time is very short time. Within a short time, or in a few minutes, the train is about to come to the platform. So at that time you tell your friend, if I had a car, I could drop you at the railway station. What does it mean? It is the helplessness of the speaker. Indirectly he says, I do not have a car, I don't have a car, I don't have a car, so I cannot drop you at the railway station. That is the meaning of the sentence. If I had a car, I could drop you at the railway station. Dear students, remember, this is not used for past actions, but it is used for present actions which are unlikely to happen, which are more unlikely to happen. Their chances are very, very less for an action to happen or to occur. And look at the third example. If I were a bird, I would fly in the sky. In the second type conditional sentence, it is a different one. This is called imaginary conditional sentence. Imaginary. What is the meaning of imaginary? Imaginary means which is not real, which is away from reality, which is not at all true. So this is called imaginary condition. Look at this sentence. When you read this sentence, you understand whether or not it is an imaginary sentence. If I were a bird, I am an English lecturer. I teach the students every day. I go into the classroom and teach and talk to them. So this is my job, that I am a lecturer. But here the sentence is, if I were a bird, I am not a bird. I cannot be a bird. How can I become a bird? I am a human being. I am an English lecturer. How can I be a bird? It is not possible. It is impossible. But when we say, if I were a bird, means for the time being, if you imagine if I were a bird, you are asking the people, just just requesting the people to imagine for a little while that I were a bird. If it happens so, but it doesn't happen, it is highly impossible to become a bird. It is not seen even in the history also. So if I were a bird, I would fly in the sky. I am not a bird. I cannot become a bird. It is highly impossible to become a bird. So it is not possible to fly high in the sky. So this is called imaginary condition. Remember, my dear students, in imaginary condition, the verb is were used. Irrespective of the subject, let the subject be first person singular or plural, second person singular or plural, third person singular or plural, or any proper noun. Irrespective of, regardless of the subject used before this verb, the verb is were. Whenever the verb were is used, it is called imaginary condition. If I were a bird, if you were a bird, if she were a queen, if he were a king, if they were rich people, these are all the clauses used to introduce imaginary sentences. Okay, this is an imaginary condition. If I were a bird, I would fly in the sky. I cannot be a bird. I cannot become a bird. I cannot fly in the sky. This is highly impossible, more unlikely to happen. So this is a second category in improbable condition. So this is called imaginary conditional sentence. Look at the second example. If I were the prime minister, I would help the poor. Same in the if clause also, here the verb is were. If I were the prime minister, I would help the poor. I am not the prime minister. I cannot be the prime minister. I am a lecturer. I am an English lecturer. So how can I be the prime minister of a specific country? It is not possible. All of a sudden, now itself, it is impossible for me to become the prime minister of so and so country. So I cannot help the poor people. So look at this sentence. It is an imaginary conditional sentence, because if I were the prime minister, I cannot become the prime minister. I am not at all the prime minister. I cannot become the prime minister within a short period of time, that is in a few seconds or minutes. So I cannot help the poor, or I don't help the poor. Remember the students, see, in imaginary conditional sentence, we find the verb were after the subject. So you can use any subject, but the verb is were. If you use the sentences in this structure, they are called imaginary conditional sentence. In improbable conditional sentences, remember, we have two categories. One is improbable one, and another one is imaginary conditional sentence. The only difference between these two is improbable conditional sentence, this is unreal condition. Of course, this is also unreal, and that is more unlikely to happen. But when it comes to imaginary conditional sentence, it is just imagining somebody is another one, or something is another one. So it is highly impossible for an action to take place. Okay, observe the structures of the tenses: if clause tense and main clause tense and the time of action. This is not used for a past action, but it is used for a present action, which is almost not possible. Chances are very, very, very less for an action to take place. This is all about improbable and imaginary conditional sentences. Please subscribe our channel English Victor. Thank you.